I think I see a lot of businesses who are stuck, right? And maybe they've been in their industry for, 10, 20, 30 years. And from what I see, an outsider's perspective, why is it that we continue to grow? Why is it that we continue to adapt and change? I feel like the number one reason for anything in your business, good, bad, or otherwise, really leads with you as the leader of the organization. And so I attribute it to, a growth mindset, always trying to stretch and grow myself. And it's uncomfortable and it's not fun, but, the risk that we all took when we started our business got us, rocking and rolling towards a goal and towards our vision. And if we stagnate over time, if we stay stuck and we're not kind of in that risk-taking mood, if you will, and if we're not stretching and growing ourselves, then I just believe, the business will stagnate and it will flatten and it might not really go anywhere. And I unfortunately see that with a lot of different businesses, and even, of course, businesses in our industry, our competitors, and others in our market. So in this video, we're going to talk really about growth and how, the growth of your business really requires the growth of you as the entrepreneur, as the owner, as the leader, right? And, taking into consideration others, right? Outside perspective, all of the different things that we need to be doing as, again, the owner, the entrepreneur, really to grow ourselves, grow through our limiting beliefs, taking on new risks. And then that leads to really growing our business and growing our teams in a good way. I'm Stephen Taylor. For the last 10 years, I've been building a couple $1 million cybersecurity IT support company here in Chicagoland. I'm also fascinated with living a wholly successful life. We talk about all of this and more every single week. Please like, share, and subscribe. At the beginning of the business, it's just all hands on deck, doing everything you can to grow and get customers, and drive revenue, make money, right? And then later on, as you've hired a team, you get more comfortable. I feel like myself as an owner, I got complacent, right? We had a strong team. They're able to do most of the work and the roles, right? I'm focusing on sales or the vision of the business, right? And it gets a little boring, right? You don't have as much to do. The business doesn't need you as much. And that's what you're trying to build, right? That's the goal at the beginning. I think you may get to this point of, call it boredom, call it complacency, right? And for me, I had to really dig in and find out, what is it that I want to do with the next version or the next evolution of this business, and digging back in, taking some more risks. And for me, it's another growth phase so that we can impact more team members, more clients, and really just be able to do more, right? And you need revenue for that, right? You need cash. And so that's what we're doing. But I think, if you don't, you might be in this place of, a flat or a plateau or maybe even regressing, right? Because if you're not growing in business, you might actually be dying. We've only been around for 10 years, but 4 or 5 years in, I started to join other peer groups, other associations, really, surrounding myself with other people in our industry, other business owners, whatever it may be. As an owner, you certainly need a community that you can, bounce ideas off of, talk more frankly with, right? Certainly being a business owner, you can't have a lot of the conversations or you don't really fit into the conversations that your neighbors, your friend groups might be having. And so these peer groups are, absolutely worth everything. And it is about what you put in, right? And there are peer groups in our industry. There are, bigger associations. There's organizations like EO. And I'm a member of a couple of different ones. And you try them out. You see what you gravitate towards. You see, what am I looking for? What do I want to get out of this? And how can I give back and give to others in these groups and these organizations and these associations, right? And it's because of these things that you're learning from others. What's working, what's not, right? You're able to see blind spots for yourself and your business. And you're learning things of, hey, don't do this because I tried it and it certainly didn't work. Or, here are the ramifications of that. Whether it's marketing or operations or sales or your talent and your team, the way you're building your culture. All of these things, this outside perspective really is going to help you move faster, grow faster, and do better in your business than if it's just you, doing all that you can. I was a college dropout. I didn't learn any of this stuff other than through Googling everything and figuring it out as we go along. Some people may be a little bit more educated or have more background or whatever it might be, but it's always going to be beneficial to learn the good and the bad, from the outside perspective. And you don't have to take everything into consideration, but, be a sponge, learn, read books, hear from others, talk to others, right? Get outside of the office and learn from others in the industry, other business owners, whatever it might be, and take and run with, whatever you gravitate towards, right? Whatever resonates with you. I think that outside perspective is super, super helpful. There is a lot of importance around the owner, the leader of an organization growing and changing, and that changes everything in the business. That is the driving force, if you will, and it helps everything to grow. So I think us as leaders, we have to grow. And that's helped our growth, right, in business. And another way, that I feel over the years that's, helped me, and this is even outside of business and in my life, is having a coach, right? Every good player has a coach. Really, they have coaches, right? Defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, right? Batting coach, head coach, all of this stuff, right? And so us in business, right, we need a coach as well. And whether you go, more specifically, to a business coach or a life coach or whatever it is, we need people in our corner, again, to bounce ideas off of, to hold us accountable, right? We own the joint and we can make excuses all day long. Oh, I didn't get to the sales stuff today. I was too busy working on this, right? Especially as the engineer. And so a coach can kind of hold you accountable. A peer group can hold you accountable and say, hey, you said you were going to get this stuff done. You said it was important, to driving the growth of your business and you haven't been doing it. What's going on, right? And so, having a coach in your corner, so to speak, and somebody that you maybe talk to once a week or once a month, and maybe having that peer group, same kind of cadence. These are the things that are going to help, keep you on fire, keep you, working hard and towards your goal that you've set for yourself and your company. And I think it's hugely instrumental in again, getting things done and growing fast. I think the biggest thing that's going to drive everything in business is your vision, right? If you know where the hell you're going to go and you know why the hell you're going to go there, then you are driven on a daily basis to go get that stuff done. But again, outside perspective, I've learned some of these things over the years, just seeing others, right? Vision seems to be the most important thing to driving everything, right? And it gives you your passion and your why, right? But there's also the tactical stuff, right? And we've learned from, again, outside perspective, speakers and books and all of this stuff, right? Always being a sponge and learning this stuff. Then you see the more tactical stuff, right? EOS and Traction will teach you how to get into cadences, and the 12-week year is another book very similar, right? Breakdown, instead of it's a year, it's 12 weeks. It's a quarter. These are the things we need to get done. And we're going to watch this stuff every single week. We're going to watch the numbers and we're going to have a peer group that holds us accountable. And then on the daily basis, whether it's a planner or action items or, how you look at, your getting shit done thing, it's what are the 3 things that are really going to drive my business forward? And it's not me doing the technology support. It's me, driving our business forward with sales and marketing and growth, right? But that's also the stuff that we avoid if we allow those excuses in. So I think for me, it's this giant ball of wax and all these different things that I've learned from outside perspective and books and speakers and seeing others do it. It's your vision at the highest level and understanding your why and why you even want to do this in the first place. And then you have to get out of bed every single day and go do the work that you don't really want to do, that, makes you uncomfortable, that, causes you to grow, right? Because if we stay comfortable and if we just do the things that we know to do and that are easy, or we stay distracted on, CNN.com and Facebook, then we'll never get anything done. And you've got to be willing to get up every day and do the hard things. It never gets easy, right? It's never, oh man, I love knocking on doors and doing sales calls, right? But that's the thing that's going to grow your business. And again, the vision and potentially taking some risks, right, is going to be the things that you've seen. I've seen the guys that get this right. The guys and girls that get this right, and their business, skyrockets versus some of us who, more or less, maybe a little bit of growth or unfortunately the opposite is that plateau or that decline, right? Because you're not growing, you're probably regressing. Every business owner knows exactly what they need to do to drive their business forward. What is it that you need to get out of your way so that you can go and attack, that one singular focus that you need to be doing.